Hello everybody, and welcome to a Theros Beyond Death draft here on MTG Arena. Before I dive in, I want to remind you that if you enjoyed the video, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions or feedback. It really does help me out a ton, and I love talking about the cards with you folks. Okie doke, opening up our first pack, we have a very powerful rare. This is definitely going to be the pick out of any pack you open it in, just because it is such a tremendous payoff for playing enchantments. Basically, drawing a card on every enchantment you play is super powerful, especially because there's just a lot of creatures that happen to be enchantments. This card's probably going to work best in a green-blue or green-white deck, but there's enough enchantments just in green to support it in any color. After that, I would probably be taking the Daxos. Daxos is a incredible card in this format. It just ends up being like a 2/7 really early on in the game. Gains you a lot of life and lets controlling white decks do pretty powerful things, and is also just a pretty solid attacker in the less aggressive. in the more aggressive white decks, because it's hard to deal with when you're attacking it into 2 toughness creatures. Of the commons, the best common is Omen of the Forge by a pretty decent margin, followed I think by Loathsome Chimera, but that one's a lot closer. Nazine Wanderer is also okay, but we're just going to jam Citizen Champion here. Next pick, we have a lot of options here. There is a Mire's Grasp, works pretty well with Citizen Champion. It's a pretty nice combination. There's also an Entrancing. This is the best common in the set, so there's no other common I'd take over it. Even if archetype considerations were in play, like, oh, maybe Citizen Champion works best in blue-green, I don't think I would take the best blue common, which I'm currently on Thirst for Meaning as the best blue common, over Mire's Grasp. Just because Mire's Grasp is quite good, especially early on when I might get cut out of green. There's not really a ton of great green in this pack. Return to Nature is pretty solid. I think Entrancing Lyre is a great pickup here, though. It's very flexible. It is a little bit mana intensive, so you need to keep that in mind. It's not really going to be a 3-mana removal spell. It's more like a 5-mana removal spell, but it's very flexible, and I think it's going to leave me more options than taking a Mire's Grasp here, so we're going to jam it. Okay, moving on to pick 3, we do see a Thirst for Meaning, which I think is a pretty strong card. Helps you find your powerful cards, and works well with enchantment themes. There's an Agonizing Remorse, which is a pretty powerful card as well. Just gets rid of any card. It can help deal with escape permanents as well. I don't think Thirst for Meaning is worth taking over the Agonizing Remorse necessarily. Threnody Singer is also a pretty strong card for the heavier blue decks. The commons are really not impressive, though. Of the commons, I would take the Thirst. Not a huge fan of the Thundering Chariot. I'm not sure whether I should just take Agonizing Remorse, though. Again, there's not really any great green cards in the pack. We did just pass a Mire's Grasp. This is close. I think Thirst for Meaning is a tempting pick, but third pick is a little bit before I'd want to get that card. Threnody Singer, not really a card I want. I think blue-green would be a good home for the champion. Let's take the Threnody Singer and then just pass up on the Agonizing Remorse. There's another Agonizing Remorse. There's also a Cataplepas. A Binding of the Titans could go nicely because it can help you find your Citizen Champion. And overall, I think it's just a nice card. It'll do the things I want it to do. And we have been seeing a decent amount of black, but we've seen a Mire's Grasp into Agonizing Remorse, and now there's a Cataplepas, which I think I'd take over the Agonizing Remorse. Grey Merchant's not really a card that I want in more controlling black decks. I think it's more of a card you play in heavier black decks that are black-white or black-red, but we don't really have those colors, those tools right now. I think we're going to take Binding. We really want to be able to play the Citizen Champion. One of the biggest things I've picked up in Theros Beyond Death is that you want to be able to play the powerful rares you open, because a lot of games are defined by powerful rares on your opponent's side, so you need to be able to fight them with powerful rares on your side. So I'm going to take the Binding here. It just is a pretty good card in green. Ooh. Now we're cooking with fire here. So there's a Starlit Mantle that goes well with the champion because it can protect a champion. There's a Nazine Wanderer as another payoff for enchantments. I do like Elysian Caryatid a great deal. I think it's one of the top green commons. Definitely in that top 3. I think it's actually a little bit better than Nazine Wanderer in a lot of decks, but if we're already going heavy on enchantments for the champion, Wanderer does get a little bit better, though we probably don't need the... I mean, it's not like an absurdly high pick or anything. I do like Binding a good deal in this deck where I can find my champion, and then I can start prioritizing graveyard removal. Not graveyard removal, like cards that are good in my graveyard. I kind of just want to take the Elysian Caryatid, though, as just a nice little 2-drop. 2-drops are super important in this set, so I think the fact that these are all 2-drops is really good for me. This is one of the closest picks of the draft. I think Wanderer is close with Caryatid. The thing is, blue-greens uses its mana decently well, thanks to, like, it's got good card draw, but it doesn't have as many escape creatures, so sometimes the ramp doesn't mean as much. So Nessian Wanderer also sometimes runs out of things to do in the late game. Okay, final choice, we're going to take Nessian Wanderer. Binding gets a little bit worse in multiples because it gets a little bit clunky to use over and over. There's a Dreamstalker Manticore, Manticore, which I'm a huge fan of, and we don't have a ton of reason to play blue other than the fact that we're going to get a decent amount of blue card. Like, blue-green is good home for these Constellation payoffs. There's more black cards, but we've kind of just admitted we're not playing black necessarily kind of here. The person to our left is almost definitely black, so we kind of want a good pack too. I like taking Starlit Mantle here. We want one copy to protect our Citizen Champion. And Dreamstalker Manticore is solid, but not as solid unless you're in specifically blue-red. So let's take the Starlit Mantle. Getting one copy, that's going to be quite good. And now there's an Eidolon of Philosophy. I'm actually much higher on this card than I was at the start. There's certain matchups where it just does a ton of work, and it also triggers all of my Enchantment Matters cards. I don't think I would run it out on turn 1 in this deck, but it's definitely a great card. After that, I take Soul Guide Lantern for the board. And now we could take Omen of the Hunt. It's probably not a card we're going to main deck, but it's a solid card to enable splashes. And if we do open another, like get past another card that's really worth splashing, we could take it. Now we can pick up a Vexing Gull. Pretty solid card, especially if you have other instants. Not a fan of Sage. Now the Deny the Divine works well with the Vexing Gull. We have been seeing a lot of black cards, but we kind of just decided not to play black. And now I guess we just take the Chariot. We might play that. Not really anything for us at the end here. Ooh, another Starlit Mantle. We'll probably play 2 Starlit Mantles. After that, they become much worse. Okay, so this here, Dryad of the Elysian Grove is interesting. It doesn't actually, like, do that much. It, like, triggers your enchantments, like, all your cards to care about that, but in limited, it's not insane. I wouldn't fault someone if they were drafting in paper to take this, because I think it's worth something. But I think we're more likely to want a Warbriar Blessing. The thing about Glimpse of Freedom is it's only good if you have no other ways to use your graveyard. And I'm fairly confident we'll be able to pick up at least one escape creature, or just wheel that. Warbriar Blessing works great because it not only is it an enchantment, but it also is, like, there's other synergies. Like, we're probably going to have some pretty sizable creatures. Hopefully we can get back this Brine Giant. Building around that is always fun. But I think Warbriar Blessing is better than the Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Removal is a super high priority. And we got paid off with Eutropia, the Twice Favor. This is a fantastic card in the blue-green deck, and a real nice payoff. I do want to briefly mention Omen of the Sun. This card has really impressed me. I think it's the 3rd best white common, just because a lot of the white cards can either benefit from an enchantment entering play or from you going wide, and this does both. It also makes combat incredibly difficult for your opponent on the ground, which means you can fly over them in the air. I think it's my 3rd best white common overall. But yeah, we're definitely taking Eutropia over Ichthyomorphosis. Ichthyomorphosis is a card that I'm never super happy to play. I don't know why. It just never really feels like super great to me. And now we're dealing with a pack that has pretty much nothing for us. We're not going to be splashing Omen of the Forge. I guess we could take Towering Wave Mystic. We could take Relentless Pursuit. Relentless Pursuit's not great in our deck because if you look, we don't have a ton of creatures. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 cards that are not creatures out of our 12, so we only have we're gonna have less hits. If you have like only 13 creatures, the odds of you whiffing on this or only getting 1 card are higher. So if you're not really using your graveyard, I think it's not great. Maybe we just take Omen, but I don't really want to splash Omen, and we're kind of settling into our deck colors. So we'll take the Relentless Pursuit over like a Thaumaturge Familiar, but it's not like a great pickup. And now we can take a Nylea's Huntmaster. It's a pretty solid card, just a 4-mana 4/3. Where's the Warbriar Blessing? Well, maybe I'd rather just have a Vexing Gull, though. I could see that being the case pretty easily. I like the Eidolon also because it makes use of the extra lands from the Wanderer pretty well. Maybe I'd rather just have a Vexing Gull. I could see that being correct. Let's just take the Vexing Gull. I have not been insanely impressed with this, especially when I'm not ramping super heavily, or going 2-drop into 4-drop, or if I'm not a heavy green deck. And I don't think I'm super heavy green. I'm more likely to be a heavier blue deck, and Vexing Gull is pretty solid. And now there is a Memory Drain. We'll probably take it over the Soul Guide Lantern, though. We already have a Deny the Divine, so maybe we're not going to want to do that. I'm thinking we're going to prioritize. We're going to just get one Soul Guide Lantern for the sideboard. We can even main deck it in a pinch. And Loathsome Chimera is a great pickup as well. We wanted some way to use the graveyard, and this is definitely going to fill that role nicely. Now there's a Chain to Memory. It's an okay card. Underworld Ragehound's quite good. And now we get another Eidolon. I don't actually mind playing Gift of Strength, but Eidolon is going to be pretty good in our deck, I think. Especially if we can wheel that Brine Giant. It did not wheel. Shoal Kraken came back, though, which is a pretty okay card. We don't need more than 2 Starlit Mantles. We have another way to use the graveyard now. I don't mind playing a Shoal Kraken. Plummet for the board. Sometimes it's hard to say whether the deck is powerful or medium because of the cards that were opened, or just the way it all lines up. But I think the deck we have so far is pretty solid. Okay, pack 3, pretty easy Entrancing Lyre, I think. Caliphate is not a card that I'm super high on. There's not really any way to give it evasion, so it's like a 3-mana 3/3 a lot of the time. That makes your stuff slightly more difficult to target. So I think we're going to take the Lyre over a Stern Dismissal as well. Gift of Strength. Yeah. It is an enchantment, though, which could be nice. How many creatures do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And how many enchantments do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll be fine. And now we can pick up... I think the third Entrancing Lyre has vastly diminishing returns, so let's just take Ichthyomorphosis, shrink the kind of kill the creature forever, and trigger our Constellation stuff. I've been really impressed with Elspeth's Nightmare, but we're not going to be splashing it here. We're probably going to take the Nylea's Forerunner. I'm a big fan of this card. Just a big enchantment creature. I think Triton Wave Rider could be okay in this deck too. But we don't need any more removal now. We have like 4 removal spells essentially, so we can start prioritizing another nice threats. Another Threnody Singer is a nice pickup. We have a pretty decent commitment to blue. 2 Elspeth's Nightmares would have been great. Our black deck would have been pretty good. We were pretty committed to trying to play blue-green to maximize our champion, but it could have been pretty good in black-green with these Elspeth's Nightmares and stuff, so we'll just have to see how it works out. I think we could just we're just going to take another Threnody Singer. And now Omen of the Sea is really good for us. Dang, our black-green deck probably would have been better. Actually, probably almost definitely, but can't cry over Spilt Milk. We're going to take Spilt Milk. We're going to take Omen of the Sea. It triggers a lot of our cards at instant speed, and I've been pretty impressed with it. The Naiad of Hidden Coves is also okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's just take the Omen of the Sea, I think. And now we get a Mystic Repeal, pretty solid removal spell in this set with so many enchantments. We'll pick up an Elite Instructor. And we actually get a pretty late Hydra's Growth. I actually think this card is going to be pretty good in our deck. It can turn something like a Vexing Gull into a must-kill threat, even an Eidolon into a must-kill threat. Threnody Singer, pretty much it turns like some creature that wasn't worth killing into something that has to be killed, which I actually like a decent amount. And now that we have that, we might play another Starlit Mantle, though the first Stern Dismissal could be quite good. With 2 Starlit Mantles already and a Deny the Divine, I think we'd rather just get a Stern Dismissal. And we'll just take the uncommon to build the collection up. Another Starlit Mantle came back. There's also a Wave Rider. How many enchantments do we have now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 enchantments. Actually, there's 10. 10 enchantments. We have Hydra's Growth and Citizen Champion and Eutropia. Triton Wave Rider has not impressed me. I think we're just going to take another Starlit Mantle. Punished. Max Punished. Getting this counterspell is actually not that bad. We have decent ways to use our mana on their turn. Might not main deck it, but it's a fine sideboard option. Okay. So this is our deck right now. We're going to cut Whirlwind Denial, a Starlit Mantle, and one Vexing Gull. And then we will run it like that. Seems pretty solid to me. The deck's not insane, but it's a very solid build. It's got a lot of good tools, and I think it could do good work. That's going to do it for the draft, and I'll see you in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Thank you so much for your support, and special thanks to my patrons that support at the credits level, Eric S., Stephen W., Brent, and Mr. Martinez. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about the Patreon, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. On the draw, we're going to keep this hand. I think our deck ended up strong, but it could have been a little bit better. Chainweb Arachneer is going to be pretty okay against us, I think. We're not going to play the Philosophy on turn 1. It can't attack into that anyway. We don't care about taking a couple damage, but triggering Eutropia is going to be pretty valuable. Green-black is a pretty good color combination. Given the way Myers Grasps were coming around, I would say that it is fairly likely they... Okay, not hitting a land there is a big bummer. We're going to play an Eidolon just so we don't have to discard to hand size. The only pump spell in green is Gift of Strength, and we are fine if they use that here. I guess they could also have a card that punishes X1s. Okay, we're going to play our Eutropia now, I think. Actually, we could just wait. Hold up, deny the Divine, or we could just Ichthyomorphosis the Underworld Charger. Let's do that. I think that just gives us the most time, leaves us the most safety. For 4 mana, there's a lot of different removal spell options they could have. And we've now stemmed the bleeding. Waiting on the opponent. Okay, this is why you wait on your enchantments. So we're going to play our Nessian Wanderer. And then we'll play another Eidolon of Philosophy. They can kill Nessian Wanderer in response, but then they're using removal on our Wanderer instead of a more worthy foe. Forest, perfect. We need lands, and that is pretty ideal. No attacks. Next turn we can play Eutropia and hold up Starlit Mantle, hopefully. And then we get a double trigger. Rage Guard Berserker is fine for us, we do not mind. Perfection. Okay. So we're going to take a hit for 5 here. We might even take another hit for 5 while we deploy our Entrancing Lyre. Just block with those two guys because they're pretty low importance. We do put it in the graveyard, so it can be active later. I think they have a removal spell. They held up 4 mana on turn 4 without doing anything, so I think they might have drag from the underworld. Final death, sure. What does Eutropia want to target? Eutropia probably wants to put counters onto herself. No, probably onto something else to diversify my threats. I'll put on Nessian Wanderer. We will take another forest. And our opponent has scooped it up. The Liar was going to be able to tap the Underworld Charger. We could have hit them for a little bit. Our Eidolons were about to start cooking them, coming really online. We do not see any flyers, but we do think Soul Guide Lantern is going to be good. I'll zoom this in. Our 2/2 flyer doesn't seem insane because they have relatively big creatures. Whirlwind Denial can do pretty good work against them, I think, if we find something to cut for it. They have a Final Death, so our Starlit Mantles are going to be pretty good, but we already have 2 of them. So what seems bad? Shoal Kraken honestly does not look great. And or we could cut an Eidolon. We really did, or Mystic Repeal. We didn't see really any enchantments. We saw, what did we see from them? We saw the Underworld Charger, we saw this Spider. I think there's going to be a target for it. I think we're going to cut the Shoal Kraken. It just does not line up well with what they're doing. And then we might even add, I don't think we want a 3rd Starlit Mantle. Shoal Kraken, the thing is it doesn't block Underworld Charger once it's come back. It doesn't really deal well with the escape creatures because it has power. Like, that's actually kind of a downside on dealing with escape creatures. We'll mulligan. This hand is far superior. Get rid of an island. Sometimes I like to just put them to the test with Hydra's Growth early on in a game. And this might be one of those cases because it will actually cantrip and help us find more stuff. And the only removal we saw was Final Death, so we could have some time to grow our guy by that time. Opponent is on a mulligan to 5. Chainweb Arachneer, sure. I'm surprised they kept Chainweb Arachneer on a mulligan to 5. This makes me even more likely to want to go for the Nessian Wanderer play. They're going to have clunkier removal. I could even wait and just put it on the Threnody Singer. And opponent has scooped it up. They've seen enough. Wanderer inspired too much fear, and that's going to do it for round 1. Welcome to round 2. This is a really close hand. We don't have great mana sinks, but we do have a couple 3-drops. Overall, I think this is going to be a mulligan because we just have too many lands. We don't know what to do with them. We're going to keep this hand, though, and we're actually going to ditch the Shoal Kraken. Here we get to go Nessian Wanderer into Binding of the Titans, hopefully finding us a land. Red, white can't kill this guy on turn 2. They'd have to wait until turn 3, and then they'd have to have an uncommon because the uncommon deals 3. It's called Fateful End. Which they could definitely have. But it is an uncommon. Furious Rise, that's okay by me. Okay, we'll play Binding of the Titans, see what we find. No need to let them know we have an island. Perfect, we hit an island. And we milled our best card, which is perfect because we want to get that back. What did we mill from them? The Akroan War is good to know about. We'll play an island. We will attack, and then we will pass the turn. We're going to try and find some, hopefully get some enchantments pretty soon. I don't think this card should be main decked, and I'm really glad they played it now because we have 2 Entrancing Liars in our hand. Red-white can use the graveyard, but only for escape. We're not going to bounce anything here. We're definitely going to save that, and we will get rid of their creature and the Crowan War. And then we'll play an island, and then Liar. We're going to wait on anything else that involves enchantments until we can get back our Citizen champion. No attacks. So we're not going to play Eidolon. We're probably going to use Stern Dismissal if they play a big guy. Okay, Satyr's Cunning is not particularly good. I think this card's actually quite bad, but we did get rid of some of the fuel they have for escape. So we're going to block because they could have Omen of the Forge, but they're more likely to have the aspect of Manticore or Indomitable Will. In which case, oh, we kind of blew this. I guess bouncing this guy's not great for us because we lose our Liar, but this is okay. If they want to give it hexproof, they're not going to be able to do that because the enchantment's not on it at that point in time. So we traded a bounce spell pretty effectively, but they're going to get to kill our Liar now. So maybe we should have thought that through and just not blocked. But it does set them behind a decent amount on tempo. My turn. Definitely getting back the champion. Play our Citizen champion. They weren't able to kill Wanderer. This is... and I think we would rather look at top 3 first. And draw. We can tap down this 1/1 if we want. Get tapped. Sure. The 1/1 is completely irrelevant, so... I think it's worth ichthyomorphosing the 2/2 just because we get 2 triggers. Oh no, we put these in the wrong order. Well, we didn't actually, but it did not work out the way we wanted it to. Attack for 4. We're just going to tap that guy down so they can't get a jump block off and make another Satyr. Next turn we're going to sacrifice our Eidolon if we don't draw something better. This card is now out of range of their Theros' Blessing. Okay. Yeah, we're going to take action. We're going to use all of our mana except 1, so let's pay 4. There isn't a +1/+1 effect though. So this thing, if they do use an aura on it to keep it safer, they'll get 1 nice attack and draw 1 extra card. This is the best tapping I can think of. We'll put this onto the Nessian Wanderer because now we have 2 really scary threats. Oh, maybe we should put on this because it doubles faster. Yeah, that was actually may be bad. But I like the fact that if they kill Cetessan Champion, we still have a second threat they have to deal with on limited resources. So we didn't see a ton of removal spells, so I think we'll be fine with 2 Starlit Mantles, though interacting in combat is still going to be nice. The Vexing Goal won't block anything too well. They don't have any like 1/2s running around. Soul Guide Lantern's not a high priority. I think we're probably fine. Yeah, I like the way our deck is configured for this matchup. This is part of the reason why I think committing to your bomb pack 1, pick 1 is a little bit better than it normally would be. Like, Citizen Champion, like, even though in this case we saw a lot of enchantment creatures for a black-green deck with Citizen Champion, generally you get a lot more, and it works better in blue-green because you can protect it with Starlit Mantle and things like that. And we saw a lot of very late Myers Grass that you wouldn't see on MTGO. When you're drafting with real people. With real opponents, you don't get into black very easily because everyone wants to be in black. Black has super deep commons. Mulligan, and we will keep this one. And we will get rid of an island. Might seem greedy, but I think it's going to be okay. Rewarded. I generally like to keep my spells when I'm on a mulligan because I'm going to need all the resources to pull myself back out of the mulligan. We're already back in it. The Eutropia on turn 3 is going to be the real defining factor here. So they have Terranica. Sure. If they find a way to kill the Eutropia, we're going to be in trouble, but if they just like equip attack or something like that, perfect. I suspect they have Indomitable Will. Yeah. That's fine with us. So if we put Hydra's Growth on this, we can't protect with Starlit Mantle. I think we want to wait 1 turn on Hydra's Growth. Warbriar Blessing, if we get rid of the Indomitable Will, kills the Terranica. Like, we can Mystic Repeal the Indomitable Will, and then Warbriar's Blessing stack the trigger. Oh no, we can't because it's a 4/4. Let's just Hydra's Growth our Eutropia. If they do have a Dreadful Apathy, we can Mystic Repeal it. And Eutropia is going to be quite big. Oh, we should have attacked for 4 there. Next turn she can take down the Terranica with our Warbriar Blessing. Sure. So we missed out on 4. They should be at 26 right now because we knew we weren't blocking. Yeah, Eutropia works really well with the Hydra's Blessing. I didn't even really think about that, but the fact that it doubles every turn makes it an absolute terror. We should have held up another blue mana, so we could place Stern Dismissal on the hero. Attacking for 7, and it's a 4-point life swing. We're not going to attack. Our Eutropia is going to get so big, it's not going to matter. And we have a protection spell for it. Sure. I forgot I didn't have flying on Eutropia. I think we want to just Stern Dismissal Hero. Make him spend a lot of extra mana recasting it. And they scoop it up. She was going to get another 5 power. Okie doke. Wait, that was a full round? Well, I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to round 3. Pretty simple mulligan here. And this is a pretty easy keep. We have more reason to want to have extra blue mana up, I think. So we'll get rid of a forest. Setasan Champion is great. We will just flash in Threnody Singer to block here. I messed up. I already clicked past the blockers. We'll just do a different plan. New plan. We're gonna play our Eutropia. We're playing that over the Cetizen Champion because we'd rather have the Cetizen Champion stick around. And the Eutropia also has some sneaky shenanigans with Threnody Singer in the future. So if they kill Eutropia, which I'm kind of assuming they do. I mean, if they don't kill Eutropia, we're in great shape. So I just have to kind of assume that they have Mire's Grasp. Okay. So maybe I should have... Well, now we're going to just go for Cetizen Champion, and if we untap with it, we win the game, probably. No blocks. Things are a little bit looking dicey here. So this can get up to pretty significant amount of power and toughness if we want to just use our Starlit Mantle now. Which I think is worth it because we need to get stuff on board. That's a pretty bad whiff. Not only did we whiff on a land, but we drew a blue card we could have cast. So that's a major downside. I was hoping, like, it was, I think, correct to leave up a land because we have way more lands than Eidolons of Philosophy. But it just really did not work out. And now we're not vulnerable to Blight Breath Catoblepas. Okay, sure. Sure, that's not a big deal. We'll get rid of Vexing Gull and deny the Divine. Our Citizen Champion's going to take over this game, though, so I'm not super worried. So he's going to become a 4/6 then. Okay, let's go for the Warbriar. Counter first. Then the fight. So he's dead. Then we just play that. No attacks, pass the turn. They have 4 cards, but one of them is the Typhon, so they can't bring it back yet. Our Citizen Champion is safe. If they attack in with Lampad, it just means they want to get back Typhon, which is understandable. But we'll still probably block, because he's big enough to block Typhon too. Like, see what I mean? This card is so dumb. It just wins us the game on its own every time we draw it. It's worth building around that type of card. We're blocking because they can just sacrifice this later anyway to get it in the graveyard, and we don't want to go too low. Sure. We'll protect him. We're gonna have to discard this card anyway. Perfect. I think we Mystic Repeal Elspeth's Nightmare. Either that or Lampad. I like doing it on Nightmare. I'm gonna go all in. Sure, they can block sack, or they can bring back Typhon. We have Threnody Singer to give us some pretty nice playability here. They still haven't figured out how to bring back their Typhon. Now we're just going to get our Threnody Singer in. And our Forerunner is going to be fantastic here, giving trample. So now they essentially have one draw step. Sure. Having the Stern Dismissal makes me feel a lot safer on this play. You might wonder why I attack with Threnody Singer when it seems so irrelevant, but that's because if they do draw a removal spell, we want to put them on a okay clock, and the Nicolai's Forerunner plus Threnody Singer would be lethal, so I'd have to make a block. We could potentially blow them out with a Stern Dismissal. And our opponent scoops it up. So we're playing as black-green. They have the Iroan games. They did not seem to have a ton of removal. War One Denial's an okay card. We'll bring in Soul Guide Lantern. Starlit Mantle seemed like it could be okay. We'll bring in Soul Guide Lantern over Binding of the Titans. I really don't like fueling their stuff, so this does help defer it as well, like get rid of it. Stern Dismissal is pretty good. I think we're going to get rid of the Vexing Gull. It's not an enchantment, it's a little bit expensive. And yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about our chances in game 2. We do have to be aware of the Elspeth's Nightmare. That card can be a beating in the right situation, so we'll have to be a little bit protective against that, but a lot of the time you just have to go for it. And this is a great hand. Binding of Titans is good because it lets us dig deeper to find our Citizen Champion and our Eutropia, two of our key cards. Opponent's on a mulligan. Yikes. So we can maybe get back Shoal Kraken. I'm a little bit worried about the first Iroan games. They don't have a swamp, so we're just going to go for the Eutropia. If they do have, an Elspeth's Nightmare, we're in bad shape anyway. Our hand just didn't line up well against it. If there's a card that you can't afford to play around, don't play around it. That's a big piece of advice. Yeah. But we can't wait until turn 5 to make a play. And now we can at least get it back with our Binding of the Titans. Unfortunately, our hand is complete jank, but I think Utopia is still better than Shoal Kraken. Though it is kind of close. Not going to lie about that. With this many lands. We do have 2 Eidolons, though, so the lands aren't completely dead. They're going to take the Warbriar Blessing. Yeah. Yep. Plays like the opponent made, where even if they had the swamp, like they sandbag it and they don't play it, make it much more difficult to justify playing around cards, because then they have to have a 2-card combo in their hand instead of just the 1 card. Utopia down! I think we have 1 escape card, maybe 0. So we don't use the graveyard that much. That's why you wait on your Mystic Repeals. Okay, so any creature we draw is game-winning, essentially. We have 1 more turn to draw a creature, though. Okay, we no longer have a turn. We have to draw Citizen Champion now. Unfortunate. Now we need another creature to stabilize. I'm not optimistic, but you never know. We could live at 2 life here. Yep. That was just an unfortunate circumstance. Our deck doesn't do well against Elspeth's Nightmare, so I'm not super disappointed about that. The way to play around Elspeth's Nightmare is actually to just not play cheap creatures for a little bit and then get into the game. But our deck doesn't do that super well, so I think to play around it, we'd rather have... The 1/3 doesn't seem insane here. Let's have another Starlit Mantle. And... Yeah, that should be fine. Definitely worth keeping. We have a turn 3 play. It's debatable on whether or not we'd rather play this on turn 3 anyway. Sure. I think we still do play it on turn 3. Especially now. Like, we kind of have to. We're priced in. They have to have this exact same combo again. They have to have Swamp and Elspeth's Nightmare. Yeah. The power of this is that you get to play it early and win the game with it, not that you have to wait until you have your entire defense is set up. You gotta take risks. That son of a gun. Oh gosh. No! Okay, at least it wasn't Elspeth's Nightmare. Turn that into a 0/1. Tap this thing. Now, of course, I'm wishing I'd waited. But there's no guarantee we're going to draw a land on the turn and then have a turn 5 play like that. I don't know. Maybe it was just correct if you have the protection for it to just protect it. I was hoping to draw. Oh, I guess I could have tapped the Nylea's Forerunner instead of playing my own. I miscounted my number of islands. Thanks to Threnody Singer, I can actually use Warbriar's Blessing to take it down. Yikes, nice combo. I don't think they have Gift of Strength. I knew they were going to sack it anyway. Land pad is actually a huge problem here. At least they're tapped out. That's good for me. Oh, I need Citizen Champion, or Eutropia or something. Ugh, that was brutal. I should have waited. I think, in retrospect, I realized I mean, it's hard because playing it on turn 3 is super powerful if you can untap with it. But maybe I was just supposed to play the Liar and then wait. Because they didn't have any swamps at the time. I don't know. It's hard. Hard. Okay. Well, now they can fuel their spider if they're willing to lose there. Typhon. They are. Wow, that's bold. We will pay 1. Tap that thing. And then when we untap this turn, we're going to tap the spider. Maybe I can just decline to do that. And just rely on... Because I needed to make sure I had another land so that I could hold up my Starlit Mantles. To keep me safe. But my 5/5 does block this 4/5. Oh gosh, I think we lost this game by punting it away. Not by anything super significant. Yep, we lose. We needed to tap down the Arachneer after all. We just hope the opponent doesn't see the line. We don't have a way to kill Lampad left. Whoa. They're gonna sacrifice the spider. No, they're gonna mill. Okay. We have no life gain, so I think we lost. It was a hard-fought battle, but we blew it with our Citizen Champion play. But when we already had Starlit Mantle in hand. Oh gosh. I'm ashamed. I am ashamed. It's just so good if they don't have anything. They have 1, 2, 3. They have enough creatures to just kill me this turn if they attacked with everything. I block. I take 4. Yep. Oh man, I botched it. Oh well. I could have won that game if I had waited and been more patient, but I did not, and I lost as a result. Welcome to round 4, trying to bounce back after our terrible misplay. We're going to keep. Oh, this is a freebie. We don't want to take any too much damage from this, and we don't want to block with our Loathsome Chimera, so we'll actually give up a Constellation trigger. Getting Eutropia down really early is great. Ooh, blue-red. Satyr's Blessing is, Satyr's Cunning is even worse in blue-red than it is in normal decks. Because blue-red has absolutely no use for the 1/1. There's Vexing Goal in blue. We don't really care about the damage here. There's also removal spells that could have an instant speed. They countered it, okay. There's not much analysis to be said. I mean, we'd want to draw our... Oh, yeah, that's bad. That's a bummer. But it brings us closer to our Loathsome Chimera. We'll ichthyomorphosize that. And we'll save this guy. Sure. Scova's Maze Warden is a problem. It hits really hard. It's also really hard to lock down with our Liar. Like, we could be taking 6 damage here. Now we will play our second Eidolon just so these 1/1s can't hit us. And we are at 4, 5, 6, so we can start sacking these. If we hit another land. Decline. Interesting draw. We can make it into a 1/5. I actually really just wanted to draw land there. This has been a not great draw, I don't think. Yeah, we're gonna just get alpha attack next turn and lose. So we go block, block, sack our guy, draw 3. Take 4. Something's gotta kill me here. +2 +0, +3 +2. Omen of the Forge, yeah. Yikes. Okie doke. Moving on from that. What opening hand did we even keep there? Can't have been good. Let's run it back. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm not actually as mad about playing the Citizen, because if we don't do anything, they just keep hitting us and playing creatures, and we didn't have any proactive plays in that hand, I don't think. We'll keep this hand. We didn't see any removal, but we just have to assume they have something for Hydra's growth, so we're not going to go for it until we have one of our mantles. Again, we don't need to play this on turn 1. It's far superior to save it. Let's see what we find. Don't really want islands. There's a Eutropia. Okay. They have scryed to the top. Now we will play one. Might just even suit it up with our Hydra's growth. Good sideboard deck. I respect it. We're not really stuck on lands because we don't have anything to do anyway, even if we do draw a land. I think they probably have Stern Dismissal. They've seemed pretty easy to get. That was great. We really needed that. We're going to trade even though we lose our graveyard, because we're not going to be able to get this guy back anytime soon anyway. And we don't want to take 4 potentially. Also, this thing, if we do put a Hydra's Growth on it, won't be able to block the Incendiary guy anyway, so we're locking into taking more than just 2 damage there. Gosh darn it, Scophos. My Brophos from Scophos. No attacks. They never spend the mana to pump. Huh. Probably because they always have stuff to do with their mana. No! They did 2 for 1 themselves to get it done. This has not played out very well for me. Hey, life is good. Let's get him down. We can't afford to trade back and forth here. We'll crack Omen of the Sea on end step. I kind of like Ichthyomorphosis to take out the Maze Warden, but I don't really like the other card. Sure. Let's see what he's got. Weird. Why would that get... Oh, they needed mana fixing. But for what? Okay. Sure. We'll put the Orad on the bottom of their deck. Against blue-red, you gotta take it when you can. We can afford to make the trade now, because we have a block sack available to us. Ugh. Sure. We have drawn 3 cards. And the number of thy cards shall be 3. Oh, there we go. Such as an champion. Not going to run him out yet, though. I think we want to get on the beat down a little bit here. So what do we want to tap? Do we want to tap down Heroes or Scophos? If we tap down Scophos, then we can flash in Heroes, shrink this thing, block that guy. Perfect. Ugh. Not a huge problem. A little bit irritating. This is where we want to draw any enchantment. Really doesn't matter what they target, what we target here. Actually, we should have totally targeted this. If they have Aspect of Manticore, we just screwed ourselves. Oh gosh. Thank goodness. Or Omen of the Forge. Both equally bad to not play around. I don't know why I chose the Stampede Rider. Decline. So it's a 3/4. Blue-red can't really kill it. They have Final Flare, which they haven't used yet. Oh, they've already used Fateful End, I mean. There's Final Flare, which they've already used. There's Iroas' Blessing, which we can blow out with our bounce spell. So we're going to get him into play now. Terrify our opponent. Provide a better clock, hitting them for 1 extra. We just need an enchantment. We just need an enchantment. We actually are in a little bit of trouble because we have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our enchantments, and we only have 10. We won't go until we get some. Okay, that was a good draw. It looks like we're just setting up for an ordinary quad block. Little do they know, this is no ordinary quad block. It's an ordinary squad block. Shrink the Stampede Rider. Well, I guess we have a new block. 3/1/3s on the 2/3. Let's go! The squad is back. Doesn't go well against another Starlit Mantle, but, you know, if they'd had one of those, they would have used it. Surprised they haven't used that yet. Heck yes. What do we can't even put it on anything really. He gets a +1/+1 counter. So he'll be a 2/7. I don't know why they conceded. I just was going to have a big citizen champion. Okay, game 3. They have very little removal. They have some Naiad action. Vexing Goal does not seem insane. Bring in Whirlwind Denial. Even though that game stalled out, it seems pretty nice against them in general. Actually, they have a decent amount of removal. Whirlwind Denial is a little bit rough. What they don't have is a lot of enchantments. I think we might need another creature, just a warm body. Mystic Repeal might just be worse than Chain to Memory. We kind of already have 2 Chain to Memory effects, though. Let's just add in a Vexing Gull, so we have more creatures. On the draw, this makes it kind of close, but we're going to mull. Yeah, things are grim on the draw for our deck. Ooh, they're pumping. That's good for us. Eutropia, the twice favored, is in the arena. Yes, this is the perfect scenario. Eutropia is twice favored for a reason. And Scophus is one of the biggest creatures we've seen from them. No heroes, no heroes, no heroes. Just don't play a 5-drop creature, please. Give me a break. I just need a moment. A moment's respite, being on the draw on the mulligan. Gosh. Booyah. Shucks. They have another 2-drop? Or a Starlit Mantle. Okay, I need to really get my Shoal Kraken game down. Land me. Yes! And the crowd goes wild! fact that they didn't attack with this makes me a little bit more confident that they don't have a combat trick or something there. Oh, yes. Whoo! We have stabilized. Behind our shoal kraken we sit, praying, waiting on the world to change, as they say. Been waiting, waiting on the world to change. Sure thing, bud. We do not care about that card. Wow, they discarded a real spell. Sure. Do not care about the satyrs either. Oh, the perfect addition to the team. The perfect squad addition! Oh, yes! I think we're like 90% favored to win this game at this point. They go pump, pump, pump. We Starlit Mantle. Make our guy into a 4/6. Boom. Take action. Do not need a forest. That was a good turn for us. Not going to play Eidolon yet. We want to hold up Deny the Divine and Starlit Mantle. Interesting that they're using their graveyard resources on Satyr's Cunning. We're actually going to do this because get rid of binding, because even if they do play a really scary creature, we can bounce it and then counter it on the way back down. We would like to present a clock, and we have a Starlit Mantle to protect. Booyah. We would really like to find another island. And opponent has scooped it up! We have defeated Rexdolf, and we are headed into the 5th round. Welcome to round 5. We'll play first, and we will keep. This is an excellent hand. Finally. Feels like my hands have been a bit scrappy recently. If I'm panting, it's because I just ran up the stairs. Whew. Now there's like the idea of whether or not we want to get greedy and play Eutropia before we do anything else. I think so. Get all of the triggers. That play only gets punished by Omen of the Forge. Okay, so they top decked Omen of the Forge. At least it forces them to play off curve. Okay, so I think we're going to start with Omen. We're against red-white, so we're probably not going to be able to beat them down, so we don't care about getting the Vexing Goal into play immediately. Take the island. Bottom. We don't really want that either. Okie doke. And Eidolon is going to be able to use these lands and turn them into gas for the fuel tank. The old fuel tank. No attacks. If they want to attack with their Stampede Rider, we can kill it. We're just getting that in for an extra devotion symbol. It'll get -4, so even if they have +2/+0 and first strike, it won't be able to kill any of my creatures. And now even if they kill one of my blockers, it'll still kill it. Perfect. One of the benefits of playing at Flash. Stop on upkeep. And now we'll start hitting them for 3 in the air every turn. Dreadful Apathy. Because we really don't want lands at this point. We're going to get more than enough lands for our Wanderer. Booyah! Nice! If you're wondering what set this is from Mirage. Dreadful Apathy is not that scary because we don't have any high priority cards right now. Sure thing. I think we're just gonna wait on doing anything and just crack our Eidolon. Perfect, that's what we were waiting for. Okay, we can actually take the hit here. Because we want to just get our mana's worth here. And then we can just bounce that next turn. We don't care about the life swing. No! There goes our citizen champion. We'll tap that guy. We have enough lands to untap this, tap the Sunmane Pegasus, and crack our Eidolon. Oh, whoops. That is not what I wanted to have happen. I meant to untap it. Sure. What you targeting, buddy? They're probably going to target Vexing Gull. We're going to use our Starlit Mantle before we use our Eidolon because we want to get 3 more cards out of the way. 4, and potentially thin our deck, like get rid of some lands. Okay, both of those cards would have been great. No blocks. Sure. Draw 3. Okay, good. Take action. Sure, that's fine tapping. We're definitely not going to go for this Hydrus until after we have already exhausted their dreadful apathy. This one is locking down. Oh my gosh, I don't know which is which. Well, that's bogus. Oh, perfect. Decline that one. Take action on that one. Now we can afford to get slightly more aggressive because they have only 3 cards. They didn't have removal really earlier. And yeah, our 1/3 is not really pressuring them that heavily. So we'd like to get a little bit more pressure than that. Okay, decline. Decline. We will ichthyomorphosis this. I think our Citizen Champion is near here, but we don't have really any enchantments left anyway. We're not out of Final Flare range yet. Oh, we know the next card. Well, it's unfortunate that we know it's a forest. I think this was the batch of 3 cards that was 3 spells. Because we have every single land in our deck in our hand now. So it's a bit of a bummer. Yeah. So they can hit me for 4, 5, 6. But they can't block with this guy, so. I lose to Infuriate, but such is life. Yep, we needed to not draw a forest on that last turn. I think we had to keep attacking. Really put the pressure on them. That was unfortunate. I think the flyer will be good. Mystic Repeal seemed mediocre or bad even. What enchantments did we see? Mostly like auras, which aren't really the best to put on the bottom. Though I guess we could put some of them onto the bottom. Let's just run it like that. It was just unfortunate the way the Satyr Wayfinder triggers lined up. We did have every land in our deck. We had all spells except for the one land that we had on top of our deck. I'm scrying it to the bottom. Okay, this is a great hand. Holy smokes, this is a good hand. Yes! Feel the heat flow through you. They think this is nice. Oh, wait, opponent. Just you wait and see. Oh, gosh. We're still gonna go for it. If they don't have Dreadful Apathy this turn. Yeah, we did it. We did it! Yes! Oh, so exciting. Now we're going to wait on the Eutropia. No need to attack and jeopardize the mission if they have the +2/+2. And then next turn we'll Ichthyomorphosis. And trigger, trigger, trigger. We'll put a counter on the Vexing Gull. We will put... This is like a constructed deck at this point. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Put a counter onto our... Tropia. Find our land. Draw a card. Attack for 8. We're playing around +2/+2 because we can. That was a lot of triggers, and opponent has seen enough. Too many triggers, too little time. Okie doke, the final round. We'll bring in Plummet. Plummet seems good in this matchup. Over. Loathsome. Maybe over Binding. I do like Binding because it finds me my stuff easier. Maybe over Shoal Kraken. Shoal Kraken blocks pretty well, though. We could cut an Eidolon. That doesn't strike me as too absurd. Plummet's definitely going to be better than Eidolon. It's just whether or not Plummet would be better than other cards. We shall keep. The combo. Two lands is actually okay for us. Hopefully they use their Omen on this guy. Yep. I knew they had Omen. Or at least I had a hunch. I always have a hunch. I think we Ichthyomorphosis this. That'll dissuade them from putting an aura on it, which is what we really don't want right now. We have this to take care of other creatures. Oh yes, Pegasus is coming to town. Not Pegasus. Bird with fish. I call it bird with fish. Looks like they're flooding out. They haven't really done much. Sure. Vexing Ghoul. Let's start going. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows if you're awake. Next turn we can play a thing, tap this. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. We're doing this now, so they can't untap and have the Chimera card. And they have one opportunity to find Final Flare. A little bit more if they're looking for Dreadful Apathy. Okay, so they destroy my artifact. That's good sideboard tech because they knew I had 2 of them. So they have to have Dreadful Apathy, and they have to use Dreadful Apathy on this. And if they don't have that exact combo, we win the game. Ah, and we even have a backup attacker. Nice. Is there a combo trick that gives first strike? Yes, but not for 3 mana. So this guy cannot block. Okay. And just like that, the bird flies in, and we have taken the win! Haha, we are headed to the final round. This is going to be do or die. Get max wins or suffer at 4-2. Welcome to the final round. We made one change. We cut an Eidolon for another Vexing Gull. Oh, there's a fantastic hand. We have our Binding of the Titans. 1 second. I need to make sure that I don't mess up my graphics for everybody. Display settings. Sorry, I have Nightlight on, so I don't want to ruin the experience for everybody who's not watching at nighttime. I think it doesn't register it for people at home, but I'm not 100% sure, so yep. Okie doke. Here comes our Binding against a black deck. Maybe we'll hit something we can exile ahead of schedule. Oh, we hit our own Loathsome Chimera. Nice. Timaret. Let's just get rid of Timaret for now. He's going to be irritating. Them knowing about Starlit Mantle makes it a lot worse. They might just get rid of the Loathsome Chimera. Nope. We don't need that extra land. Having double blue's nice. Timaret has entered the graveyard. Ooh, they used different artwork. I respect that. They went to the extra effort. Are they going to get back Timaret? Oh, they might get back Shimmerwing. Oh, but they also milled their island. Actually, we don't need to hold full control. If they trade, we'll just escape it. This is our only graveyard card, so milling it with Binding was actually pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. That's a bummer. They planned that out real well. They're going to play Timorite and exile it now. Yep. Luckily my graveyard's not super graveyard. Luckily my deck is not super graveyard reliant. Gonna get out our Vexing Gull. I think we can afford to wait on that. Opponent probably just thinks I want to trade. Little do they know about the Threnody Singer. And we even have Starlit Mantle to protect. There's no combat tricks unless they have a Gift of Strength. So we just ate ourselves a Blightbreath Catablebos. Good work, team. Sure. They look like they're holding up a counter spell. So we'll just start hitting him for 2, stopping the Timorite from hitting us. Ugh. All in all, a good day's work. Might as well keep the Shoal Kraken safe in our hand. Until we draw a land, which we will eventually. You can't just only draw spells, and if we draw spells, we have spells to do stuff with, so we're happy either way. We hopefully can get our Shoal Kraken into play before they get another big threat. Catablebos. It's a little bit irritating, but nothing we can't handle. Decline. Perfect, Shoal Kraken. Now we'll just start chipping away. They know we have the Starlit Mantle, but we still have some really high priority threats with Constellation to draw. Sure. That actually doesn't do anything against us other than gain them a life. We no longer have cards to care about the graveyard. Binding is definitely coming out. In the face of their deck, they use the graveyard so much better than we do. And if we top deck it in the mid game, it'll just be a really big downside. They're splashing Shimmerwing Chimera, which is an interesting stratagem. I wonder if that's their only blue card they're splashing. It's a bit of a bummer. Definitely not going to loot. Warbriar down is a little bit sad. It's a top deck war now. We're doing this now because any future enchantments are now great draws. Did they just top deck Return from Nature? This is where I sincerely hope they didn't top deck super well. Wow, they killed the flyer? What? If they top decked another Catoblepas, I don't know how to pronounce this card. I'm sure I'm making a fool of myself. Catoblepas. Okay. Opponent top decked a pretty good card for the situation. And we top deck in return a pretty solid card for the situation, I'd say. We're going to take a couple hits from Blight Breath, but if we top deck something like a Hydra's Growth, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 enchantments used. We have 6 left or so. Definitely not worth trading with Catoblepas. Catoblepus. Cato. What could they have drawn? You gotta be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Okay, that's a reasonable draw. Let's go put it on this guy. We want to draw a card before we determine who we put it on. Actually, we have to choose right away. Come on, Starlight Mantle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can just get back Catoblepas and we lose. Yep, if they hadn't top decked this, we were fine. But we're going to have to pass turn, accept the fact that we just lose the game if they don't crack this to scry. Yep. Yep. That was just really unlucky that they top decked 2 perfect spells in a row. Or not perfect spells, the Omen a turn sooner would have been better for them. That really sucked. We'll bring an Eidolon for binding. I don't think we want Plummet. Bring in Soul Guide Lantern for Mystic Repeal seems okay. For Loathsome Chimera, we'll just cut our graveyard cards. That was so frustrating. If they had not top decked the Omen of the Dead, we would have had time to grow our guy out of Catoblepas range. We just needed one turn of it doubling the counters on it to be too big for them to handle. It would have still been impossible to beat the Shimmerwing, but Okay, we'll keep this. It's not great, though. Not great. But top decks happen. I've top decked before. I lost to a top deck yesterday. I've won with many top decks in the past. It just is a little bit frustrating every time it happens. We'll get Threnody Singer into play, start chipping. Drawing a land every draw step really sucked. That sounded overly negative, but it's just kind of fun to say sucked like that. That sucked. Oh gosh, we're playing into Natural Tron over there. Natural Tron. We're gonna hold the Eidolon, hope to get a trigger out of it. Our Eidolon is well on the path to drawing us 3 cards. I like it. I don't think I should ever have cut that guy. He's just... Oh, baby. We get to take care of that guy with one fell swoop. Haha. Take that, Shimmerwing Chimera. Take that. It really is a good combo. I can see why they splashed it. Because, like, once the Shimmerwing's in play, if I had killed it there, they could have omened it back. And then they get the omen back, so it's, like, really hard to deal with. That's gotta be, that's something I'm gonna look out for now. No! My Eidolon! You monster! Oh, the pain! Oh, the sadness! Oh, we were so close. Oh, man. Oh, that's a big ouch. Big sad. If we'd drawn Starlit Mantle, we could have saved him. Though then we're using a card to save the card we want to sacrifice. Oh, the sadness. Catoblepas. Oh, Catoblepas. And then, of course, they had Aspect. That's why I held the land, of course. Oh, young Catoblepas. Opponent's cards are lining up so well with ours. Oh, I know they have Omen. Or at least I'm pretty sure they have Omen. Vexing Goal has entered the chat. No! Why? They're splashing to deny the divine? Oh my gosh, and their bird is flying around mocking me. Oh, that's messed up, bird. Oh, you... Oh, this bird is evil. Chancellor Palpatine is evil. This bird is evil. What a monster. No! Oh, this is not going to go well. I can already tell. I think we take 7 here. Because our one way to back into the game involves Citizen Champion or... maybe Shore Kraken. So they have, let's just assume they have nothing in hand. because that's our most winningest proposition. Go for the old double block. Make our guy a 4/6. Always loot. Ha! Yes! We got rid of a land. Perfect looting, Shoal Kraken. Excellent work. No! Luckily a 5/4 is pretty garbage on this board. Because I have a 4/6. No! Oh, the darkness is closing in. And they get to scry. Oh, man, I needed to not whiff there. The problem with this game is we've drawn 9 land. No, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've drawn 10 lands, and our Eidolon died. Oh, they put both on top. We totally lose, 100%. There's no way we win this game. Catapult. Oh no, it's the Rage Guard. Well, we have the chump. That bird is irritating me. Okay, let's see what we find. So we will do the scry thing first. Don't think we can win with that. Do we have to discard Satyr? No, we have to discard land. We're still in the game. As long as the card they put on top doesn't do anything, which makes no sense. Of course it's that. Gosh darn it! Why? Cruel world! Oh, our opponent is so lucky. Oh, all the answers. The stars aligned. No, I'm kidding. They had a fine deck. Oh my gosh. Well, the round that we really punted it. Well, we didn't punt it. We just played our Citizen Champion super early. Trying to get stuff done. But we did not quite win the finals, but we did have a pretty sweet deck. And it performed better than you'd think, considering that it looked like black was probably a color we were supposed to end up in. So, if you did make it all the way till the end of the video, in the comment section down below, leave a hashtag champion carry, or hashtag constellation. No, constellaration, because it was a stellar run. 4-2 is nothing to be ashamed of. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you want to catch me streaming live, you can find me on twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. That is going to do it, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.